by Steelers legend James Harrison. Let's move to Pittsburgh, where the Steelers took a tough loss to the Broncos Sunday. And by Monday, Ben Roethlisberger was on the radio pointing out the shortcomings of his own team, calling out Antonio Brown's route running, offensive coordinator Randy Fichtner's play calling, and rookie receiver James Washington's hands. Well, today, Big Ben didn't back away from putting his own teammates on blast.
I think that I've earned the right to be able to do that with as long as I've been here. And, and I'll be just as critical on myself as well in front of you guys as well.
What's your approach to how players in the locker room might receive those kind of things, like, for instance, if you critique a route or something like that?
Go ask them. I have no idea. You'll have to ask them. I would hope that they would understand that as the quarterback and the captain that I have the right to do those things. I don't feel like I abuse that situation. So, I don't think there's an issue, but you'd ask them.
Big Ben's my favorite player.
Is he?
Yeah, he's crazy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he looks like John, plays like John Elway, wears number 7. Love Big Ben, but he's crazy.
Yeah.
I've earned the right after I throw the interception that cost us the game. I've earned the right to call out my teammates. This is the head coach's job, and so Big Ben to me always stumbles when he tries to do too much on the field, off the field, whatever. Let Mike Tomlin critique the players if he wants to publicly. They don't need it from Big Ben. I don't think he's earned that right, particularly on a day after you just blew the game with one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen.
He has earned that right. And I think as a veteran player, as a future Hall of Fame player, as a Super Bowl champion, he's certainly earned that right, and captain elected by his same peers. Here's the thing. Coaches are allowed to criticize, but they need enforcers to make sure that their culture is restored. And he's one of the enforcers. He's one of the guys on the front lines making sure that you're doing your job and I'm doing my job. But here's the problem. Here's the rub. I love your eye roll right now. Here's the rub. You are fear-based like many people are in terms of criticism. Most people are scared to truly criticize because they're fearing the U-turn of that criticism coming back to them. So Jason Whitlock says, how dare you criticize Big Ben after throwing an interception? I love Big Ben who pushes past that fence of saying, don't criticize because you're not perfect either. He says, I know it's going to be a day where I'm going to be the one being criticized.
And it was Sunday.
And it was Sunday, and it will be another Sunday coming. But guess what? Still doesn't change the reality of this moment. You need to pick it up. You need to pick it up. Oh, you're pointing back at me? I need to pick it up. And I've seen Big Ben in those moments before who's actually took that heat. So I respect Big Ben who's not fear-based and says, hey, we all got to live by a certain game plan.
I'm 6-6 on this. I don't have a problem with it, but I have a problem because you went out and you publicly said it to the media. I had a situation where I had said some things to a media person, and it ended up getting out. And I apologize for that because I shouldn't have spoke to that person about family business so, openly to him. Like you said, it's going to be a point in time where it's going to be, that was my fault. I'm going to have to take, charge of that. But I don't feel like I should be the player saying, oh, hey, Ben, you threw 2-3 picks. I shouldn't be that guy saying that. And if I am that guy saying that, that should be something I should say to him behind closed doors. Like I said, at the same time, he did earn that right. He doesn't abuse that right, like he said. But it's a hard thing to swallow when you have players such as, Antonio Brown, who is playing, at the top of his game, and you're saying you're criticizing me about one little route that was, I didn't run it right, but at the same time, the DB had undercut it, and if the D lineman didn't get it, the DB might have. So it's kind of hard when, like I said, I'm 6-6 on it.
Yeah, but who's to say that he didn't talk to Antonio first? Private matters, a lot of times when you go to the media, hey, we already broke this down.
Why does he need to go to the media with it if you talk to him one-on-one?
Because you old school. Like, y'all keep saying family business. The family model that we all grew up in is not the family model that exists today currently. The family model now is a reality show. Cameras already in there. Instagram and Live and my coach talking. 24/7 access. This is not airing out.
That was one incident.
Exactly.
We all know what you're talking about, but that was only one incident.
This is not airing out dirty laundry. It's a new day. You got to get with these new times.
As a quarterback, especially Big Ben is one of the best. I'm a huge Big Ben fan as well. I've been watching him since I was a kid, so he definitely has earned that right time and time again to be able to say what he wants to any of his teammates, and honestly to any of his coaches. You know, of course, I know Mike T from back in Virginia, but I think Big Ben did right. I think as a quarterback, you have to be able to say, hey, man, I need you to do this on this route, and hey, I need you to pick it up on this play. But at the same time, I think he's owned up to all of his own mistakes as well. There's been plenty of times where Ben has thrown 3 or 4 interceptions and has done it the same way and looked at the media right in the eye and said, hey, that's on me. I need to fix my game as well.
He just threw an interception to a defensive tackle on the goal line when the wide receivers covered. And afterward, it was the flukiest play, luckiest thing that ever happened. He didn't take any ownership or accountability for that. Look, man, the guy played the Mid-American Conference. Love him. Plays like John Elway. Love him. The guy is not accountable. He's part of the problem. He's part of the reason to me.
You can't say he's not accountable. Like you said, there's plenty of times he stepped to that podium and said, you know what, that's on me. Right. You know, I've heard that plenty of times.
Yeah.
So you can't say he's not accountable. I think the issue is that loss, you feel like everyone is taking it as a nonchalant, oh, yeah, you know, I threw a pick, it was an interception, we lost. Nobody really expected to lose to them, so the fact that they played horrible and lost is not a surprise to them. They're going to come back, they're going to play against Chargers, and you're going to see a totally different team.
And I want to empower you as my teammate that when you mess up and then I follow that up with a mess up, please come at me with the criticism. Don't sit there and sulk in your sorrows. Oh, you know what? I messed up, so I can't really tell Marcellus anything right now. That's not how you build. That's not how you get better. Big Ben is saying, look, there is a standard here. When I don't live up to it, come at me. But when you don't live up to it, I'm coming at you. It's just simple.
I'm going to move on. Coming up, Marcellus shows us the best plays from big men across football. That dude's dude.
There's no one I'd rather hit the road with.
No one I'd rather have dinner and a movie with.
No one I'd rather lean on.
Being in love is an amazing thing. Being in love with your best friend is everything. The Ever Us 2-Stone Collection. 1 diamond for your best friend, 1 for your true love. For the one woman who's both. Ever Us, with new designs exclusively at Kay.
XL guys aren't built like everyone else. That's why DXL isn't built like any other clothing store. While most stores might go up to size XL, that's where we begin. With a huge selection of famous brands like Lacoste, Levi's, Brooks Brothers, and more. With XL experts to help you find clothes that fit great and look even better. Built to fit. Built XL. DXL.
Our parties are much less crowded than this.
Dilly dilly! Dilly dilly!
Our catchphrase is much more dignified than that.
What'd you say?
What?
Bud Light. For the many, not the few.
With Chili's to go, baby, go, baby, go. You get 3 for $10, baby bucks, baby bucks. And take it to go, baby, go, while you sit on your butt, baby butt. 3 for $10, baby bucks, baby bucks. And take your Chili's to go, baby, go.
An August to remember starts with a December to remember at the Lexus December to Remember sales event.